Hello, I'm Yaz. Thank you for joining me for Scene Investigators Part 3. Today I'm going to be tackling the rest of the 4th floor cases. And as with the other 2 videos, this game involves solving cases and crimes, so there will likely be some disturbing, unpleasant imagery. As with the last one, if there's anything specific that I think is particularly disturbing, triggering, etc., I will do a voiceover and let you all know what those specific topics are. But anyway, let's get right into 4th floor. So we did apartment 401 before. Now we are on to apartment 402, the dinner party. And I've got my iPad with my notes ready. So let's get started.
Loading complete.
There we go. We got there. Situation. There was a gathering of friends for a dinner party over at apartment 402. The celebration came to a halt when a lifeless body collapsed on the floor. By carefully examining the details of the scene, can you piece together what happened at this dinner gathering? All right. Apartment 402, let's go. It would be kind of funny if they put stuff in the elevator. Like a little Easter egg here. Bye-bye, apartment 401. Hope you're doing better. Okay. 402. Let's go. Did it tell us what day this was? I feel like it did not tell us. Item. Ooh, we've got items now. Okay. Situation doesn't mention the date. How many people live in this apartment? Who is Jessica's cousin? Who sat in chair number 4? Who was killed? Who is the killer? Okay. So I saw that we had items as well. We have a medicine bottle. So the police have found this bottle at the scene of the crime, and it is confirmed that the cause of death was the contents in this bottle. So, Spazax. More than 4,000 milligrams of Spazax in 24 hours can cause severe liver damage. If you take other drugs containing Spazax, or if you take it with alcohol, all of those can cause severe liver damage. Do not take more than 7,000 milligrams at any given time. Stop use and ask a doctor. If pain gets worse or lasts more than 10 days, new symptoms occur, internal bleeding occurs. May cause vomiting, may cause internal bleeding, may cause dizziness. Alright. Unpleasant. I kind of love drug labels. It's like, it might just kill you outright. I also really like the list of things that come with my Adderall where it's like, please don't snort or inject this. And I'm like, got it. I will not do that. Thank you. Okay. Let's put our investigator hats on. I hate to make like an immediate snap judgment, but for some reason upon seeing this little like dandelion plate on the wall, my brain immediately went to that true crime case where somebody fed their family beef Wellington with toxic mushrooms. And that is not the case here, but crossed my mind. Orange, peel, and jasmine. Delicious. If those are cigarettes, they don't look like cigarettes. Okay. We've got a phone that we can't interact with. I think that's a first. We've got a wallet. Come back to that momentarily. Okay, Ronnie Grayson, 608 Highcrest Street, apartment 402. So Ronnie lives here. Let's see what mail Ronnie got. Oh, I can't see what mail Ronnie got. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's just a clue that lets us know Ronnie lives here. Ronnie Grayson. Oh yeah, we're in New York. Apartment 402. That's this one. Villages Market. He bought... Oh, we're using the camera again. Alright, we're gonna do that. Because dates and times and stuff always seem to be what tripped me up. Okay, so... on 4/24 of 2002, he bought wine and chocolates with the credit card ending in 0812. 0812. 0812, Ronnie Grayson. Okay. And he also parked at Celine's Kitchen. He paid for valet parking at Celine's Kitchen. And he was there at some specific times that may or may not be relevant to solving this case. And he has a card from an abortion clinic. Interesting. I am getting a snap judgment picture idea that he wanted whomstever to have an abortion and that person didn't want to, so he tried to poison them to take it upon himself to do that. So, snap judgment. Oh, and an attorney. Okay. Maybe an ex-partner. He didn't want to pay child support. He didn't want to... Okay, we've got a purse. And this purse contains the text on the side, water resistant, leaves no marks and no smears. I didn't look at the glass yet, but I know 100% for sure that there's going to be a mark or a smear, or not a mark or a smear, and that this is relevant to that. So Celine's Kitchen matches. That's also where Ronnie went. And nicotine patch. This medicine is believed to be safer than smoking. However, the risks to your child from this medicine are not fully known. So there's specifically an immediate reference to quitting smoking for the benefit of a person's child when they're pregnant. This feels like I'm getting red herrings now because does the glass have smudges and smears? Oh my, it does. Okay. So, yeah, that feels... I've noticed this game does that a lot, which makes sense because the answer is not always the clearest, most apparent answer. You need to take the totality of the facts into consideration, but sometimes I feel like it does it a little heavy-handed. Alright, we've got a calendar. We've got 3 months of calendar, February, March, and April. So we've got Eli, Eli's birthday party, Ronnie's day off, Mom's birthday, trip to LA, doctor's appointment. In March, there's Victor is visiting, dinner with Gabby, call with Gerald, a concert, call the bank. April, CBA 50th anniversary special. Ronnie leaves for New Orleans. Appointment with Dr. Richardson. Ronnie returns from company trip. Jessica's birthday. Dr. Charleston, not Dr. Richardson. Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that area. I feel like that will be quite relevant to us. Ronnie's computer. Bookshelf. Gotta see what kind of people these are by looking at their books. Water pathways and body decomp in moving waters. Ah. Interesting. Paranoia and the paranoid, how to interact with them. Comprehensive notes on modern blood tests. My brain just broke so hard. I read Glory in a Uniform, latex years, not later years, and I was like, what? How muffled must a scream be? Cordial and firm, witness relations. Somebody's got an interest in law enforcement or law enforcement adjacent fields. And always unload, just keep dumping. Or just true crime and mystery and stuff. A Fall from Grace, a critique of democracies. Kind of makes me think if somebody walked in and looked at my books, what they would think of me. Kind of an interesting thought as like an outsider. What your house says about you. The New York Restaurant Guide. Celine's Kitchen. We've got an address for Celine's Kitchen, phone number for Celine's Kitchen. It has $3 signs. It's an expensive place, French cuisine. Located on a historical street, this restaurant capitalizes on the rustic architecture to provide its customers an escape from the hustle and bustle of New York downtown. Tables are decorated with lace and artful candles. Food is provided from the country of love itself. The wines they serve are all collection-worthy, and the music are all the greatest love song hits from around the world. I have a feeling the address might be of some relevance if we have to do calculations of how far things are from each other, like the first missing case. And I don't know New York's... Well, it's all in New York City, but I have no idea how long it takes to get anywhere in New York City. I've been there like once. So that's not... If we were back in Southern California, I'd be in my element, but... Okay, we've got mail for Jessica Grayson, and that is to this address. So I'm writing Jessica for our tally of people who live in this apartment. Oh, I can actually read this one. Dear Jessica, it's been a month since you came to visit me. Remember what we talked about? I think it's time you ended things with him. You've endured for too long and need to move on. From Mom. Dang. Mom's from Los Angeles. Computer's gonna be dense probably, so we'll come back to that. I want to look, see if any other rooms are accessible. No, okay. So this is the space that we have. Let's look at the kitchen. We got bread. Potato bread. Of the utmost importance. That's a really cute picture. My brain forgets words a lot. It's a whole thing. I don't know what this dish is, but it looks like it was good when it was warm and fresh. Are there shrimps in there? Are those shrimps? Okay, we've got dandelion. Dandelion champagne? Was I actually going somewhere with my foraging thought? What does that say? Da Vinci. Like the meme. Okay. Da Vinci. For those new to the fine art of drinking, please follow these helpful tips. Make sure to hold the wine glass from the neck, but make sure not to hold it like a handle. Cradle the cup. For filling up the wine glass, do not fill it to the brim. A filled wine glass is 1/3 filled. This is proper etiquette. With these wine tips, you will be flaunting yourself with high society soon. This is a wine of Italy, imported by East Coast Shipping Company in New York, and it contains 14% ABV. Is that regular for wine? I feel like that might be kind of high for wine, but I don't really know. There's a lot of wine. They bought a 6-pack of Da Vinci wine bottles. Duck. Reminder, my cousin cannot drink anything with alcohol. Serve him something else instead. James is left-handed. So we've got James and we've got cousin. Cousin. Mentioned in the same breath, so they are probably the two visitors. Visitor. Cousin. No alcohol. James. Left-handed. So we'll look and see who's got a lefty set up. James, Victor, and Carol are the guests. James, Victor, Carol. I guess guests would have been a more apt word than visitor. It just seems like such a strange word to choose on my part. Duck. There was a duck sticker in the other house, so I guess don't have a duck sticker in your kitchen and you'll be safe from crime. So this is a card from the Gibsons. That might give us a clue as to which guests are which. And this is a card from Mom. We hope... What does that say? We hope to see you both in Boston this year. It'd be great to have everyone together again. Your brother and sister promised to be here. Boston. Alright. There's a notebook there. I like that dish drying rack. Very nice. Anything in the trash? No, okay. Beef stew. Oh, that's what that is. Sheesh, alright. Flour, salt, black pepper, chuck roast, veggie oil, onion, tomato paste, red wine, low sodium beef broth, bay leaves, 1 cup dry red wine, thyme sprigs. Okay. Is this important in some way, shape, or form? Let's see. Yeah, maybe the time that you add the wine is relevant. Recipe for beef stew. Maybe not, because it won't even give me all the text. Though it does look like you pour in the wine at the very end. No, it doesn't actually. Yeah, okay, no. Not important. This picture of this particular chalk outline is one of the pictures, I think, on like the Steam homepage for this game. And I always thought it was like maybe like a shooting or something. I didn't assume it was a poisoning causing internal bleeding. Alright, so table settings. Oh boy, I am feral. I don't I don't know how this is supposed to be. Okay. Spoon on left. Spoon on left. Knife on left. Spoon on left, spoon on... Okay. So this is the lefty plate. 5 is James. Okay. And cousin cannot drink alcohol. Is that not alcohol? Maybe. I mean, James's cup looks straight up empty, but maybe he just drank all of his. Unless I have a fundamental misunderstanding of how table setting goes. Wow, my feral is showing. Okay, we'll say 4 is cousin. 5 is James. Is that food smudgies or lipstick smudgies? Food smudgies. Oh, but this person has a coffee cup. Wait a minute. Wait a dang minute. Is one the cousin? One is the cousin, possibly, yeah. Because that dandelion champagne is probably light in color. And then this person has a straight up coffee mug. So I think cousin is number 1, James is number 5. Okay, so if cousin is sitting here, James is sitting here. James, cousin, Victor. Well, okay, James, cousin, Victor, Carol, Jessica, and Ronnie. Cousin is either Victor or Carol, so there are 3 visitors and the 2 people who live here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cousin sitting here. James sitting here. This has lipstick. But not smudge-proof lipstick. Alright, we need more info before we keep going on our shenanigans here, but I'm gonna write Jessica, Ronnie, and we'll figure out if the cousin is Victor or Carol, but I am getting the inkling that Carol was sitting here, so that Victor is the cousin. Brunch with Victor. Yeah. What you got over here? Conformist with a cause. Is that rebel with a cause, but the inverse? 2, the most beautiful woman in the world. Happy birthday. I could have just clicked on it. I didn't need to tilt my head to read it. That's funny. Okay. The chocolates are for Jessica. She is the most beautiful woman in the world, as we know. It's that time of year again. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jess. Thank you for all the support while I was in AA. Cousin Victor. Victor. Okay, so Carol is the other party. Cousin Victor doesn't drink alcohol because he was in AA. Ronnie is a lucky man to have you. I hope you have a great year, from Victor. Heck yeah, Victor. Proud of you. Ronnie's account is currently locked out and may not be logged onto. Ah, interesting. Ronnie's computer has been attempted to be signed into multiple times. Alright, so Victor's sitting there. Victor is the cousin, sitting at placard 1. Placard 5 is James. So we've got Jessica, Ronnie, and Carol that are either 4, 3, and 2. Okay, so I'm thinking Jessica or Carol are either one of the ones who were killed, who are sitting at spot 3, because shenanigans, gender garbage bullshit again. The lipstick on the glass. And one woman has smudge-proof lipstick, the other woman does not. So, we know that Ronnie went somewhere. Went to Celine's kitchen with somebody on Valentine's Day. 2/14 is Valentine's Day. And we know that the person that he went out with on Valentine's Day also has a Celine's Kitchen book of matches and has water-resistant lipstick. Whether that is an affair partner or his Jessica, we'll see. Trip to LA. Ooh, you know what that means. That means Jessica was out of town for Valentine's Day. Yikes. Alright. Because her mom's birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. So, Jessica was out of town for Valentine's Day, and Ronnie took somebody else out for Valentine's Day. The person he took out for Valentine's Day has water-resistant lipstick. Jessica is the one who was poisoned. Okay. Who was killed? Jessica. Who sat in chair number 4 was one of the questions to be determined. Who is Jessica's cousin was one of the questions. That's Victor. How many people live in the apartment? That's 2. I think. I think just Victor and Jessica live here. Or, I mean, just Jessica and Ronnie live here, sorry. Eli. I don't know who Eli is. He has a birthday party, though. But does he live here? There are 3 rooms. There doesn't seem to be any evidence of a 3rd person living here, however. You would think they would also be at dinner. Oh wait, what day was dinner? Was Eli out because dinner? Jessica's birthday's the 24th, and she got birthday cards and stuff, so yeah, no. So Jessica was killed. Carol is the person who whatchamacallit, okay, so that means Jessica was at spot 3. So 3 is accounted for, 5 is accounted for, 1 is accounted for. Jessica, James, cousin Victor, James, Victor, Carol. So where is Ronnie sitting and where is Carol sitting? I wonder. James is... Victor is cousin. Cousin Victor's sitting over there. James is just listed as a visitor. We don't really know who James is. So yeah, I don't know if Ronnie was sitting here or Carol was sitting here or vice versa. They both have alcohol, whether it's dandelion or not. I don't know. Let's think. Doing a big think now. Doing a big think. Glass on the left, cup on the right. Glass on the left, cup on the right. Okay. Victor, James, and Carol are visiting. James is lefty. Victor. James. Who are these people? Oh, hey. Oh. Huh? Well, she ate white food and had red smudgies. Oil will still break down makeup, so I'm gonna say 4 is Carol for now. Which would make 2 Ronnie. Because yeah, if it's water resistant, it's still going to break down if you eat oily food. So, chair number 4 answer is Carol. How many people live in this apartment? 2. Who is Jessica's cousin? Victor. Who sat in chair number 4? Carol. Who was killed? Jessica. What's her last name? Hey. Get back out here. Jessica Grayson. I don't know if this game always needs first and last names when they're available or not, but you know. Okay, so who is the killer? I am inclined to say that it's Ronnie, just based on the fact that he would have to be giving her medication. But it could also, I mean, it could theoretically be Carol. think it would be. Let's think about this. Ronnie Grayson, box of Da Vinci wine, box of chocolates. It's just nicotine patches. There's nothing special really about that. I'm trying to think if this is like a there's something I'm missing here, because the medicine bottle was found at the scene and was confirmed to be the cause of death. We don't know how many milligrams is in one capsule. It doesn't say. So we don't know if... Like, we don't know necessarily if Ronnie was slowly dosing her with this, because it says that there's a certain amount you can't take within 24 hours. Versus 7,000 milligrams at once. It's hard to say if that would have been something that would be detectable or not. Though he did buy the wine, so there's a chance he... I don't know. What? We'll just say Ronnie. Ronnie, what is his last name? I can't remember. Ronnie... Is it Grayson? Are they married? Ronnie Grayson. They are married. Grayson. Ronnie Grayson. Okay, Carol sat in chair 4. Victor is Jessica's cousin. 2 people live in the apartment. And we didn't miss anything. We did not miss anything. Definitely not. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Is there... I don't feel 100% confident that this is supposed to be like lipstick as opposed to just food, because this mark looks exactly the same. However, the food on that plate is red and the food on this plate is white. Why is there no food on this plate? Yeah, nothing has been touched on this setting, actually, on this table setting. Did James end up not showing up for some reason? Or was James late? Perhaps. Mayhaps. Oh, happy birthday from Mom. Aw. Unless we're missing something, I think that's what we're gonna go with, but I don't know why this other guest is not here. Interesting. Very interesting. I feel like I'm missing something. I wonder if I am missing something. That's what we're gonna go with. See how that goes. 3 out of 5.
Which case file would you like to tackle? Loading
Interesting.
scenario. Loading complete. Good luck.
What am I missing? What am I missing? Who's at in spot 5? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is a card from Victor. Did James not show up? Did nobody sit in spot 5? 1, 2, 3. 3 boxes. Therapy, its purpose, and when it should be attempted. What? With the renowned therapist and former Senator Jackson or Gibson. Okay. I'm missing something. I have to be, right? But what? I get my low-down detective view. What is the... Jessica, Grayson, Carol, Victor, 2 people, Ronnie, Grayson. That in chair number 4. Unless the clue is that there's a picture of a dandelion on the wall, so we think that Ronnie sat there. Who would drink red wine and who would drink dandelion champagne? Maybe 4 was... person? Eh? Okay. The clue was that he has a picture of a dandelion on the wall.
Loading scenario.
Um,
Loading complete. Good luck.
oh, what else is wrong? Let's see. Really the clue, just that the dandelion champagne is in there and there's a picture of a dandelion on the wall. I feel like that should not have just been the clue unless I'm just cuckoo bananas bonkers. Okay. Jessica's cousin Victor. I feel confident about that. Carol. That in spot 2 then. Why didn't James show up? Carol, Victor, James. Victor. Carol. Ronnie. No James. Jessica. Who's the killer? Well. Is this blood too? Could it have been that Carol is trying to poison them both? Hmm? Hmm? Yeah, okay.
Which
Carol's
is
trying to
lab
poison
would you
them
like to
both.
tackle?
That felt kind of like convoluted, like there wasn't enough information there. I might be wrong about that. I don't know, you might think otherwise, but that one felt a little patchy, I guess, is what I'll say. Let's do apartment 403 now.
Loading scenario.
So I guess like maybe I should have tried to read into it that because Ronnie was working the day previous, he wouldn't have had time to get that medication or something. Or that because he had the card for the abortion clinic and it seems like Carol did not want to go through with that because she had the nicotine gum, possibly, that did want to get them both. I don't know. Or that she brought the dandelion. No. Yeah, that one is strange to me. Okay. Situation for apartment 403. A group of teenagers were brought in for questioning regarding a murder that took place at a party held at apartment 403. Some of their stories did not match up, and no one has admitted to anything. By carefully examining the details of the scene and reading their statements, can you piece together what happened at this party? Ooh, we get statements this time. That's interesting. Okay. Apartment 403, June 1st, 2003, 3:13 a.m. And let's look at our. We've got a lot of documents. Okay. A lot of suspects. Exam questions. Who died? Who was the second last to arrive? Who was the owner of the blue sports bag? Who is the killer? I think we should look at the scene first. Because if I think about how I would approach this, right? You look at the scene first before you speak to suspects typically so you can get your understanding of what you think happened and then they can either piece it together or conflict with what you have figured out thus far. So I think that's gonna be the move here. We've got fizzy, super duper mega giga fizzy pop. Hell yeah. We've got a skateboard. We've got a high school banner, foosball table, something, whatever this is, and a dartboard. Those are fun. I love me a dartboard. Blue sports bag. We'll look at that in a bit here. Is that the sports bag? Oh, okay. We'll come back to that. I thought we were looking in the trash, but that is not the case. Huh. Red bag. Eric got a spilled beer. Got pizza. We've got more cups. Andrew's cup is here. None of these other cups are labeled. We've got a traffic cone that I know somebody stole, because that is very college kid coded. There. Games. Playing games and eating za. Drinking. Hey, kitchen has Solar Mist, a galactic experience. Sesame oil. Cooking spray. Box mac and cheese. Cast iron. College students have a cast iron, you know damn well they're gonna put that thing in the dishwasher. They don't have a dishwasher. Don't have to worry about it. Okay. Irrelevant to what is happening. Lisa has a cup of water. There's a cast iron in the sink. I told you. Can't just let those things get wet. What the hell does that say? Spark test rider Patrick, 3-time winner of the choral race. How to survive on your own for the son who avoided chores like the plague. Do not put raw eggs in the microwave. Do not put anything metal that includes aluminum foil in the microwave. If you use a lot of oil when cooking, after you're done, throw the oil in the trash, not the sink. You do not need oil when cooking bacon. Dish soap is not the same as hand soap. Dish soap is for washing dishes. Wash your hands before and after prepping raw meat. Very important. Use different tools to prepare raw meat and vegetables. A tool that you used with meat must not be used with vegetables. Tablespoon, teaspoon, ladle, spatula, whisk. Wiping the table does not mean wiping the crumbs on the floor. Use your hands, a paper towel, or a dustpan to catch whatever you wipe off. Clean your room at least once a week, or you will be living in filth. Do not use bleach with any colored clothes. You can only bleach whites. Yeah, I can just feel the incompetence in this space. Good solid metal. Come one, come all. We're inviting all the locals to play for our 25th anniversary. Pizza, traveling. I just like looking at... I'm just nosy, I think. I just like looking at people's stuff. I'm not even solving the crime right now. I'm just looking at everyone's stuff. Okay, we've got beer. We've got another labeled cup. This one's for Jack. It has liquid. This one is Brian. Also has liquid. I need the game to tell me what these liquids smell like and what these cups smell like. We've got Grace's cup. Payne's Creek Pale. Reference to Payne's Creek Killings, other game by this dev. We got a bedroom. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a lot of rooms here. Okay. Let's start in the bathroom. Detective is a vampire confirmed. We've got contacts, very important. Pigeon. Oh. Dove soap, pigeon soap. Got it. Okay. I was like, who the hell names a soap pigeon? Who the hell names a soap dove? Droplet. Okay. Bathroom has a solid nothing going on in it other than the fact that somebody wears contacts that might or might not be relevant in the slightest. No trespassing, girls only, no boys allowed. So some girl has tennis awards and lives in this room. She's got literature. She's got a gun. What is that? Is that a gun? What is she holding? It looks like a gun. Alright, not my business. You do you, girl. She's got a horse. A picture of a horse, at least. Lamp, I need you to cooperate with me. Okay, we'll look at the computer in a moment here. What is that? Oh, it's a candy bar. Ooh, a Polaroid. Why do I feel like this girl is living a life I once lived? Just like living with a bunch of dudes who have solo cups. Okay. She had a match. She had Grandpa's birthday, tennis club, finals. Oh. Oh, hey, the calendar actually goes in order this time. June, last day of school. So I guess they're celebrating the end of the school year, maybe. Drive Soup Kitchen. At Rockaway Beach. Nice of you. Holmes and mystery. Figure out a new mystery with Sherlock. She's got a lot of candy bars. Blenties. Got a picture of a little puppy. Yes. Love puppies. What is under your bed? Why is there an ominous glowing light under... What is that? Oh. Oh, it's just her string lights. I was like, what? What do you have under there? It looks like there's a box or something under there too, though. I love how I'm like scrunching as if I can see under the bed better if I just scrunch a little bit. Alright, we're getting the clue that the tennis racket bag blue bag might belong to a person in this room. Private chat. Lillian, Cassandra, Jester, and Zane. Alright, message from Lillian. Guess who I saw trying to walk home with Christy today? Kitty Lover 54 says, you're definitely overreacting. Lillian says, girl, I'm telling you, he's 100% into Christy. I bet you that's the only reason he joined the tennis club. Kitty Lover says, if it is, thank God he did. He's one of our best players. Lillian says he's gonna have a tough time getting through her brothers. Kitty says, I know all of them. They're pretty nice guys. She seems like a lovely gal. Are you gonna tell me she murdered someone? Kitty seems just sweet. I don't know. We're gonna call her Kitty until she gets a name. They talk about Christy in the third person. Oh. Yikes. Cassandra says, I don't know if you heard, but word is going around that Christy was sexually assaulted by someone at school. She hasn't been to school in a few days. Kitty says, what? You better not be joking. What's the school doing about it? Cassandra says they haven't issued any statement yet. Kitty said, hopefully it's nothing. You know how she is. She's such a drama queen. Kitty, never mind. I don't like you very much. Cassandra says, you're lucky you have your brother. Kitty says, what's that supposed to mean? Cassandra says, he's a big guy. Even guys are intimidated by him. The perfect creep deterrent. Jester says, hey, have you heard from Christy? She hasn't been to school in a few days and she's not picking up. Kitty says, haven't you heard? Cassie told me she was sexually assaulted by someone. Jester says, what the fuck? Please tell me they caught this motherfucker. Kitty says, easy there, cowboy. It's just a rumor and the school hasn't said anything yet. Hopefully it's nothing. Kitty messages Zane saying, since Christy is graduating this year, we'll need a new captain. I think you'd be a good fit. What do you think? Zane says, I was hoping you'd be up for the task. Let's talk about this tomorrow at school. I gotta go soon. Kitty says, "K, talk to you later." Zane, well, they said, okay. They said he's 100% into Christy. He joined the tennis club, and Kitty says he's one of the best players. So that's Zane, probably. Possibly. Grad party. Vader217. So this is the grad party group chat. Vader217 says, "As you all know, a few of us are going to be graduating. We're going to have a grad party at our place 7 p.m. on Saturday." Jester says, "Let's go. I'm bringing drinks." Gamer Boy says, "Why can't we just all go to the arcade?" Striker says, "Arcade, really? I don't understand how you enjoy that boring place." And Gamer Boy says, "And what, chugging a whole bottle of Cordial Light is fun for you?" Gracie says, "I think the arcade is fine." Vader says, "Chill guys, I already made preparations. I just want us to enjoy our last time as high schoolers together." Oh, so they're not even in college yet. They're just finishing up high school. Why do they have an apartment? Kitty says, "Someone needs to watch over Eric. Make sure he doesn't drink too much." Striker says, "Party pooper." Kitty says, "You barfed all over the couch, you boozer. Took me a week to get rid of the smell." So Striker's is Eric. I don't know if that matters. Drinks too much. Drink too much. Vader says, "We'll see each other this coming Saturday then. If you have questions or concerns, message in this group chat." Striker says, "Hey, what time are we gathering again?" And Jester said, "Scroll up, you idiot. He already mentioned the time." So Striker said that at 6:48. They're meeting at 7. So yeah, Striker's is probably late, or if not, second latest. We'll put second last to arrive as Eric or Jester for now, because Jester also sent a message at 7:03, so maybe Jester was running late, or Jester was saying it from the party, and we'll figure out who Jester is. Racket scientists. Kitty says, "Hey guys, even though school is over, do you still want to meet up and practice in the summer?" Lord Killer 34 says, "I'm fine with meeting up, but my family and I are going out of town at the end of July." Kitty says, "Anybody else?" And crickets. Alright. Who the heck is Lord Killer 34? Their family is going out of town at the end of June. Okay. Not relevant to the situation. Okay, so we know Jester. We know Lillian. We know Cassie is Cassandra. Cassandra. 90. Okay. So Zane, I'm guessing, is in the tennis club. Join the tennis club to be with Christy. So Christy, Zane, Kitty, in tennis club. Tennis. And Lillian, I guess, too, because, well, maybe. It says he's one of our best players, so I don't know if Kitty's talking about our as in the tennis team, or our as in me, you, the tennis team. So, Lillian, question mark. Because I saw briefly that we have to figure out who owns the blue bag and that there were tennis rackets in there, and like everybody plays tennis, I guess, so. Christy is graduating, is what that last one said. Zane says we gotta talk about it tomorrow. Interesting. Can we zoom in on any other things in this room? I think not. So 2002, this person got tennis awards. She lives with her brother. Kitty lives with brother. And brother is big and scary according to Jester or Cassandra. You're lucky to have your brother. He's a big guy. Even guys are intimidated by him. Bro is swole. Bro is beefy. I don't know if any of this is going to be relevant. I know we have to look at everything, but I'm starting to think. Well, okay, let's see. This is Dead Ironclad Killers. And Red Spring Absolution. Lamb and Sheep's album Woolly About You. Salad Sadism, live at Long Beach. Is this guy got the edgelord name? This guy might have the edgelord name, right? Front door keys. Drumsticks. This guy likes music. This is School District of Queens notice of suspension for Brian Olson. Uh-oh. Okay. May 28th, 2003. It said sexual harassment of another student or sexual assault of another student. What day was it that it said? 29th was when they heard Christy was sexually assaulted. Brian Olson suspended for sexual harassment of other student. On May 26, 2003, a student reported that Brian Olson had sexually assaulted her. These are serious allegations, so the school contacted law enforcement and an investigation will be conducted. We ask that all parties involved keep this to themselves until their investigation has concluded. The parents of both parties have been notified. Brian Olson. Accused of SA on 052603. Okay. A conference has been scheduled May 30th, 2003. May 30th. May 30th. Christy, oh boy. Okay. These are these out of order? Or are these just in the order of the last? No, these are out of order. That's very odd. Okay. Out of time order. Okay, so the 25th was when Zane said, let's talk about this tomorrow. I gotta go soon. The 26th is when the allegation was. The 22nd, somebody was trying to walk home with Christy. The 29th is when word got out. 26th is when she made her allegation. 26th. Finals. So the suspect of the assault is Brian Olson. Whether or not that means that Brian Olson is also the person who lives in this room, I don't want to make the assumption just yet because there's a chance that this was found and this is how a rumor started or something, or how the word got out. The notice of suspension was on the 28th. The allegation was made on the 26th. This was all on the 25th until here. 28th. Rick. Ryan. So Vader 217, I think, is the brother. Because they're doing all sorts of planning and stuff. You usually plan stuff if somebody's coming to your house. Vader 217 equals bro. And 25th, he said let's talk about this tomorrow. The 26th was when the allegation was made. We don't need to know who assaulted Christy. That's not a question here, but it feels like there could have been some relevance that whoever assaulted Christy was attacked. If I may venture to say stab wound? Oh, wait. That's a casing. 9mm casing. Okay. Wilder 9mm casing. So somebody got shot here. Casing is here. Interesting. Dead Ironclad Killers. Native Rock application form for Brian. Brian lives in room 403. Or apartment 403. So Brian Olson is bro. He lives there. Bro. Brian the one. Brian, Eric, Andrew, and Jack are in the band. Okay. We'll come back to that. Okay. Group chat. So he has messages to Gamer Boy, Gracie, and Jester. Vader 217 is bro. Okay, I was right. Vader 217 equals bro equals Brian Olsen. Strikers is Eric. Okay. So Vader 217 and Gamer Boy. Vader 217 says, "Can you come over to my place this Saturday? I want to go over bass arrangement for the new song." Gamer Boy says, "I'll come over after 5 if that's cool. I'll be at my dad's store till then." Vader says, "That reminds me. Do you think your dad would be willing to be a sponsor for our next gig?" Gamer Boy says, "I can ask." Vader says, "Sweet, let me know what he says." Vader and Gracie talking to each other. Vader says to Gracie, "I faxed you something. Did you get it?" Gracie says, "Hey babe, what the hell am I looking at?" Vader says, "This just came in today. Keep this between us, please. I don't want anyone else to know about this." Gracie says, "Is this true?" Vader says, "Of course not. You think I'd be sharing this if it was true?" Gracie says, "I bet you $1,000,000 it was Christy." Vader says, "I was thinking the same. Can you talk to her?" Gracie says, "I swear I'm going to kill her next time I see her." Vader says, "Calm down. Don't make this worse than it is. Just talk to her. Only she can make this go away." Gracie says, "Fine." Okay, so Gracie doesn't believe the assault allegations. Vader said, "Dude, you can't just bail on the 29th. Jester says, "I'm really sorry, something came up." Vader says, "We can't practice without a drummer, and you're the only one who knows how to play the drums. Do you know how important that gig is?" Okay, so Gamer Boy, Strikers, and Jester are all band members. Gamer Boy, Strikers is Eric. Gamer Boy, Jester. Just gonna scoot all of this down. So Vader 217 is Brian. I'm gonna move this up here. Strikers is Eric. So Gamer Boy and Jester are either Andrew or Jack. Jack is younger than the rest, so there's a possibility. Whichever one is younger, if there's a clue as to that. Gamer Boy will be at his dad's store on the 22nd. Gamer Boy's dad. Gamer Boy's dad has got me down bad. Grad party group. We've already seen this. Is there any new stuff in here, or did Kitty delete anything? Let's see. No, okay. It's all the same. Dead ironclad killers. Vader says, "Hey guys, we need to practice this week. Can we meet up this Tuesday?" Striker says, "Sorry, no, I have a track meet on Tuesday. I have a race coming up." Gamer Boy says, "I can't do Tuesday either. I agreed to help my dad at his store." Jester says, "Seem that most of us can't make it. Let's reschedule." Vader says, "What about Thursday?" Striker says, "Thursday is fine." Jester says, "I'm good for Thursday." Gamer Boy says, "Same here." Okay, so Tuesday, Strikers had track, Gamer Boy had store. Tuesday. Look at the calendar. Tuesday after the 25th. I don't know. Okay. We'll get some more clues. Is there anything on the back of this? There's not. Okay. I do not know what is going on. What is that? Guitar holder? A box. I'm trying to figure out if the gun is here anywhere. Because there's a casing, but I don't see a gun. Oops, I hit F for flashlight. It's L for flashlight. How could I forget? What's in your trash? I ought to know what's in your trash. Okay. Bad owl. I don't know what's in this box. You could store anything in that box. It says bad owl. I don't think that's a gun box. Alright. Somebody entered this room with the spare key. So Brian had his keys in here. I'm thinking somebody came in because of the allegations, but with Brian. They came in with the spare key. Okay, Grace, Brian, Jack. Eric's was spilled because Eric drank a little too much. Andrew over here. Alright, let's look in this blue bag now. Tennis racket. Heck yeah. Drumsticks. Heck yeah. Notebook. Grease on the elbow. We've got music. Hey, I know we're becoming better friends than we have been. I just feel like I owe it to myself to get this out. Christy, I do have feelings for you, and I'm really nervous to tell you this. And by this, I'm not asking you to return these feelings, nor am I asking you to be anything more than you have been to. And then you just stopped writing. Okay, so this is the guy who joined the tennis team, who is a really good player. And he plays the drums. Jester, isn't it? Oh, Jester's really pissed off about somebody assaulting Christy. Wow, okay. Jester is the owner of the blue sports bag I'm going to write for now. Private chat. Interesting. Okay. So Jester does tennis. Jester walked home with Christy the 22nd. That was a Thursday. Jester the drummer. Jester didn't want to go. Gamer Boy has the store dad. Jester likes Christy. Alright, and Gracie is Brian's girlfriend. Okay, there's no messages from Gracie here. Okay, I thought there were messages from Gracie. Okay. Red bag. Nobles 2003 Summer School. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Carter, welcome to Nobles 2003 Summer School. Your student schedule for the Nobles Nobles Public High School 2003 Summer Academic Program can be found in your NPS portal account. Okay. The schedule includes the course number, name, and teacher assignment. Once students have picked up their summer school package and submitted their summer pass with school security, they will be ready to start. This program offers students the option of earning credits and beginning the school year in line to graduate with their class. Enclosed are a summer school course list and a registration form, student contract that should be ready and signed by the student and parent or guardian. Summer school starts on Tuesday, June 3rd, blah, blah, blah. Please note that your student's summer school grade does not replace any failing grade. This is... okay, this person has inhaler, in-game version of EpiPen. There's some weird motion blur stuff happening with this container. Okay. This person has some kind of allergy. And this person has to do summer school. So that they can graduate on time the next year. So this is probably the youngest person on the list here, maybe. So we'll say Jack Carter? Question mark? And that would make Andrew Jester. But we'll wait to confirm that info. My notes are looking kind of bonkers right now. That's cool. We love that. So that would make the blue bag belong to Andrew. Okay, I think we looked at everything physically in the room. Okay. Let's look at the statements now. Oh, this is kind of bonkers. Kind of bonkers. Okay. Christy is suspect 1. Eric is suspect 6. Grace, Andrew, Lisa, Jack. Is Lisa then Kitty? Lisa? Question mark? I'm gonna look at that one first then. Okay, yeah. So this is an interview with Lisa. Lisa says, I am one of the tenants of the apartment. An officer says, how close are you with your brother? So Kitty is Lisa. Right. Lisa says, or officer said, how close are you with your brother? Lisa said, close enough. I mean, we don't talk about deep things or anything. He mostly keeps to himself. Officer says, are you aware of the allegations towards him? Lisa says, huh? What allegations? Officer says, okay, let's change the topic. Out of all the attendees, has any of them shown any violent behaviors or tendencies? Lisa says, violent? Not really. Well, actually, Andrew has been suspended a few times for getting into fights. Okay. Officer says, can you recall the last time he got into a fight? Lisa says, last week, actually, he and this other guy were fighting over a girl. Gasp. Wait, you don't actually think he did it, right? Ah, interesting. Officer says, do you usually lock the door for your room? Lisa says, yes, I like to keep my room private. Brian sometimes has friends over, so I lock it anytime I have to head out. Officer says, but you said you lost your key. Lisa says, I was coming back from a friend's house and I must have accidentally left it there. The officer says, what time did you leave your friend's house? Lisa says, around 6:30. Officer says, so how did you get into the apartment? Lisa says, well, it was already open. Most of them were already inside. Brian must have let them in. Officer says, what time did you arrive? Lisa says, around 7. Officer says, do you keep a spare key? Lisa says, yes, we keep a spare on the kitchen wall, but it was missing. Someone must have taken it. Officer says, can you recall exactly when you noticed the spare key went missing? Lisa says, I checked as soon as I came back, but it was already gone. So how did you get into your room? Brian used his key set to let me in. Do you often have parties at your apartment? Yes, mostly for special occasions, but sometimes just to hang out on the weekend. Is there often alcohol involved? Yes. Andrew usually buys the drinks for us. Confirmed, Andrew is jester because he said, let's go, I'll bring the drinks. Could you repeat what you told us? I was asleep, I woke up, it was dark, I went to the restroom, and that's when I saw him lying there in his room. I didn't know what to do. And then what happened? I panicked and screamed. Moments later, Andrew came running by, gave me a panic attack. Do you have any suspicion as to who the murderer could be? I don't know. I don't understand how this could happen. We are all really good friends. Saw him lying there in his room. Okay, so Andrew is jester. She says Andrew and somebody else were fighting. A week before. Let's see what Grace has to say. Okay. Grace says, or this is Grace, this is Brian's girlfriend. Officer says, can you elaborate more on your relationship with Brian? I already told you, he and I have been dating for about a year and things were going well. Can you please tell me your accounts of the evening? Look, Christy is 100% guilty here. That lying bitch has been trying to get in between Brian and I ever since we got together. She can't stomach that he chose me and not her. I'm telling you, that girl is batshit psycho. Please calm down, Miss Burns. Don't tell me to calm down, that girl should be behind bars. Please just answer the question. Fine. I arrived at the apartment at the same time as Jack. We got out of the elevator just in time to see Christy leave the apartment and run off. What the hell was she... Why the hell was she even there? Does she not even... Miss Burns, please focus. Are you sure you saw Miss Carter? Miss Carter. Summer school letter to... Christy. So that red bag is Christy's. Maybe. Oh, 100%. She's the only girl in the world that has dyed green hair and braids her hair like that. Officer says, please continue. Grace says, after Andrew came out with the drinks, we all started playing a drinking game. This went on for most of the night, and I eventually knocked out. Can you recall if anyone passed out before you did? I'm sorry, I can't. I completely blacked out. I must have drank a bit too much, because the cops already arrived by the time I woke up. Okay. I'm thinking Brian was the one who died, but I'm not 100% on that. We'll put Brian for now. Who was the second last to arrive? Grace and Jack arrived at the same time. Christy was leaving. I think it was either Eric or Andrew who was the second last to arrive, but we'll... After Andrew came with the drinks, we all started playing a drinking game. I think Andrew was the last to arrive, maybe, and Eric was second last, but maybe vice versa. So we'll leave it at Eric or Andrew for now. I think Andrew owns the blue bag, like we said. Let's see what Christy has to say. So we've got Grace and Lisa, Andrew, Eric, Jack, Christy. Yeah. No interview for Brian. Brian's probably dead. Okay. Interview of Christy. Officer says, hello, Miss Carter. Can you please answer my question? Christy says, huh? Oh, I'm so sorry. What was the question again? Did you see Brian on the 31st of May? No. Did you have any physical contact with him at all during this week? No. When was the last time you met or spoke with Brian? Maybe a week and a half ago. Are you aware that Mr. Brian Olsen is dead? What? Are you sure? He was killed last night in his apartment. Where were you on the night of the 31st of May? I was at home. Okay. So Christy was here. Or if Christy has a brother. I mean, maybe Christy has a brother. There's a possibility as well. Somebody has an allergy. So I don't know. Maybe Christy was here and she ran out. Why would she leave her backpack? I mean, yeah, maybe there was an altercation and she ran out. Okay. Let's see what Eric has to say. Okay, so this is the interview of Eric. Officer says, can you please account when you and the others arrived at the apartment? Eric says, I know I was the fourth to arrive. Brian, Grace, and Jack were already there. I must have missed something because Grace's attitude was off the entire time. Maybe Grace and Brian had a fight. I have no idea. I was super glad when Lisa arrived. She always livens the mood. I think Andrew was the last to come. He's always late for everything. Okay. So Andrew was the last to come. I was glad when Lisa arrived. Lisa... Okay. Brian, Grace, Jack, Lisa, Andrew, Eric. Brian, Grace, Jack, Eric, Lisa, Andrew. So, Lisa or Jester, Andrew. Could also be Eric if he's lying. Were you all drinking that night? We all were. Grace usually doesn't drink that much, but that night she was chugging as if there was no tomorrow. Anything of note that night? I'm not sure how drunk I was, but I do remember Jack and Brian were arguing for a bit. Things got pretty heated, but Brian eventually got up and locked himself in the room. Jack and Brian were arguing. You were the one who called 911, correct? Yes. It says here on the report you discovered the body and called law enforcement after 2 hours. Why did it take you so long to call law enforcement? Because Andrew was completely against it. And why was he against calling the authorities? Something about underage drinking and him getting in more trouble than the rest of us. I see. Look, I know he's a little dumb at times, but trust me, he didn't do this. Error. Mic stopped working. What part of I don't remember much do you not understand? Please calm down. We just want to clarify certain details. Please tell us again. Like I said, I was drinking heavily that night. I must have passed out because the next moment I remember Andrew was waking me up by pouring water on my face. Lisa tells me you had a pretty big argument with Brian last week. Want to tell me about that? Seriously, you guys are reaching. He was on my case about interrupting rehearsals with my mistakes. I've been busy recently, so I haven't had much time to practice. Come on, there's no way I'll kill him over something like that. I have my pride as a musician. I'm not gonna show him up with my performance. I was gonna show him up with my performance. Oh, okay. Okay. Jack. We know not that much about Jack. Okay. Officer says, so you're also in the band. Jack says, yes. Play the bass. Also play the guitar. But I usually end up playing the bass. Okay. So yeah, Jack is definitely bass player. So how would you describe your relationship with Brian? Brian, honestly, he's more of Eric's friend than mine. Eric and I have known each other since elementary school and have been tight since. Eric introduced me to Brian in high school and we started playing together. Okay. Eric introduced me to Brian in high school. Eric and I have known each other since elementary. Eric and Jack have known each other since elementary school. Eric and Jack. Okay. I don't need to stand out here to read these. I don't know why I walked all the way back out here to read them. What time did you arrive? Oh, nope. I jumped ahead. Okay. Can you go over your account of the incident? I was working for most of the day. Jack, store dad. Yep. Okay, Jack is gamer boy. I was working for most of the day. I eventually left and I headed to Brian's place. I bumped into Grace at the lobby and we both went up together. What time did you arrive? Maybe around 6:45? Do you recall seeing anyone right before entering the apartment? No, I mean, other than the guy at the front desk, all of us had something to drink, so some things might be unclear. I do remember Grace was being pretty obnoxious the whole night. After I finished my drink, I left the apartment. Why did you leave? As I mentioned to the other officer, Brian was smoking heavily and I can't stand the smell of it. Where did you go? I went back home. Was anyone with you at the time? Anyone who could corroborate your story? No, not even the man at the front desk. Look, this is getting annoying. I didn't do anything wrong. You got nothing on me. Just let me go. Andrew. Okay. Andrew is my main suspect right now. Or Grace. Let's see. Andrew. Well, Eric and Andrew also got into an argument. Who is the killer? We're putting Eric, Andrew, Grace. Okay. Could you please account when you and the others arrived at the apartment? Well, I arrived at the apartment around the same time as Lisa, and everybody was already there, so I don't know when the others have arrived. Andrew or Lisa. Okay. We're the last and second to last. What happened after? I don't know, man. I thought you have all the answers. It's after midnight. I'm tired as hell. I gotta go soon. What happened after? I was in the toilet puking for quite a bit. Then I woke up Eric. And where was Jack during this time? I don't know. None of us saw him for the rest of the night. You were the one who brought the drinks to the party, correct? Yes. You're not old enough to drink. How did you purchase them? Did you contaminate the drinks in any capacity? Well, of course I didn't contaminate the drinks. You do know that underage drinking or purchase of alcohol is a misdemeanor. Really? That's all you got? I thought you guys were trying to solve a murder. Get serious. This is a complete waste of time. None of my friends did what you're suggesting. Christy Carter. Does Christy have a brother? Is anybody else Carter? Is it mentioned that anybody has allergies? Because Carter person has the EpiPen and the inhaler. Eric said he left because the cigarette smoke was bothering him, right? Or was that Jack? That was Jack. Brian was smoking heavily. Jack left early. Lead vocals. Interlude. I don't know anything about music. I'm sorry. This is confusing to me. Snare line. That's drum stuff, right? But this has lead vocals. Is this drum? I understand literally nothing about music, so I'm... Verse, pre-chorus, 4/4 filled to chorus. Add crashes. Seems like drum. And drum guy is Andrew, and Andrew likes Christy. Brian was accused of assaulting Christy. Lisa said, okay, so Lisa's probably the most truthful person. She left her friend's house around 6:30. She got there around 7. Andrew got into a fight over a guy, or over Christy with another guy the previous week of June 1st, so we'll look into that. Andrew got into a fight with somebody else. She doesn't say Andrew got into a fight with, like, Jack or Brian or something. She doesn't say one of the people who's here. So maybe he got into a fight with that Zane person. Who did she say came in after her? Most of them are already inside. And I think it was Eric who said, I was super glad when Lisa arrived. I think Andrew was the last to come, so Lisa was the second last to arrive. Lisa, who died, Brian Olson, Lisa Olson, who's the owner of the blue sports bag. We're gonna say Andrew. And let's clarify some information here. We're clarifying now. I'm not doing a very good job of clarifying. Somebody ran to the elevator, it said, but there's nothing really to do with the elevator. Okay. We didn't find a gun. I don't know who would even have a gun of all these people, or why, or how. They're so young. Okay, so Lisa and Andrew talking about that. Maybe that Zane guy is who Andrew suspected, and that's why they fought the week before. Because this was this night, so the week before, Andrew fought someone sometime here. Maybe after this Zane guy walked her home. Cassandra, Cassie. I don't know who the heck that is. Guess who I saw trying to walk home with Christy today? Girl, I'm telling you, he's 100% into Christy. I bet you that's the only reason he joined the tennis club. He's one of our best players. He's gonna have a tough time getting through her brothers. Christy has brothers, plural. Okay, here we are, bamboozled again. Blue sports bag. Who is the killer? Who is the killer? Gracie was acting obnoxious. Somebody entered Brian's room. Using the spare key. And it was the spare, it was not Lisa's key. It says spare. That was the one that she said was hanging in the kitchen. In the kitchen. Yeah. There's no keys here. Does Christy have a brother? I play the bass, I play the guitar. He's more of Eric's friend. I feel like maybe Jack is Christy's brother. Eric and I have known each other since elementary. Eric. Brian, Grace, and Jack were already there. Grace's attitude was off. I was glad when Lisa arrived. She always livens the mood. Jack and Brian were arguing. Andrew was against calling the authorities. Brian locked himself in his room. Andrew woke him up by pouring water on his face. Eric argued with Brian the week before. I've been busy recently, so I haven't had much time to practice. Jester is Andrew. He's bringing drinks. This is Jack. He wants to go to the arcade. This is Eric. And Gracie says, I think the arcade is fine. Someone needs to watch over Eric. Because he drinks too much. It's coming Saturday. Were Eric and Andrew arguing before? I'm really not sure about this one. All of them. All of Christy's brothers. How many brothers does Christy have? And how many of them are... So they were supposed to have practice on Thursday. Thursday the 29th, is that right? Or is Thursday the 30th? Thursday 29th. So he bailed the same day. Something came up. That was the 29th. The day after finding out about the allegations, like 2 days before the party, did he go and buy a gun? The 28th. Just talk to her next time you see her. Can you come over to my place this Saturday? Eric's. No, not Eric. Jack Carter. Christy Carter. Jack Carter? Why did I write Jack Carter? Is it because of this? Who owns the store? Is there any information about the store? Like any little... Okay. I don't know. I want to say maybe Andrew, but if Andrew has a thing for Christy and he was writing out his feelings and he stopped. I don't know how close they are if they're talking about this. There's no gun, right? We don't see a gun. No. Who? I feel like this has to be Jack, right? Summer school starts the 3rd and ends. Oh, who said they were busy the 3rd? Did somebody say that? The end of July. No, okay. Y'all, I am confused. Christy Carter or Brian Olsen. Jack in the band. Brian, not really close friends with Jack. Jack's closer with Eric. Jack said the smoking bothered him. Maybe it's because he's got asthma and allergies. And he left early. Maybe because his sister left early. So how did you get into the apartment? The spare key was already missing by the time Lisa got there. And the last to arrive was Andrew, wasn't it? Andrew was the last to arrive. Andrew's not the killer. Eric discovered the body. Eric had an argument the previous week with Brian. Lisa was the second to last to arrive, so it only rules out Andrew. Brian, Grace, and Jack were there. Grace's attitude was off. Grace was drinking a lot. Jack and Brian were arguing. It seemed like Jack left. Jack, Eric, or Grace are now my suspects. I don't think it's Eric, though. Though Grace immediately going to throw allegations is very suspicious to me. Though it seems like maybe she started to believe. Okay, so she saw Christy leave. I arrived around the same time as Jack. That's true, right? Jack said something similar. Bumped into Grace in the lobby. Christy. I don't think Christy really was there, actually. Why would she be there? Nobody else saw Christy. Grace said she saw Christy. Grace said she saw Christy leave the apartment. We got out of the elevator just in time to see Christy leave the apartment. Jack does not mention seeing Christy at all. Do you recall seeing anyone right before entering the apartment? No. I want to say Grace. Grace Burns. We're going with it. We're going with it. We'll see. I'm not confident. Yeah, okay, 3 out of 4. Revisit.
Loading scenario. Loading.
I'm not even sure
complete.
which one's wrong because I'm kind of unsure about most of these. Maybe I got the killer wrong. Let's delete this and see if it still says 3 out of 4. Because that is the one I'm the least confident about, but I have a... Okay, yeah. Revisit scenario.
Loading scenario. Loading complete. Good luck.
Could be Andrew. Could be Eric. Probably isn't Andrew. Who is the killer? Okay. So it had to have been somebody who arrived. Let's write... Okay, let's do a new thing here. Who was in attendance at the party? It was Jack, Brian, Grace, all the people we can confirm that were here, Lisa. Andrew. Two, three, four, five, six. Yep, 6 of these people were in attendance. It was definitely, well, I think it was not Andrew because he was the last to show up and Lisa said the spare key was already gone. What time did you leave your friend's house? Around 6:30. The door was already open. I arrived around 7. Yes, we keep a spare on the kitchen wall, but it was missing. I checked as soon as I came back. It was already gone. So it's not Andrew. We're crossing off Andrew. We're crossing off Lisa. Brian didn't kill himself, so we're crossing off Brian. That leaves Jack, Grace, Eric. So, I mean, I suppose... Okay, so Jack... Who was it that said... I arrived around the same time as Lisa. You arrived just after Lisa. Lisa arrived around 7. Lisa arrived and sent a message. Eric. Is that Eric? Eric didn't know what time everyone was gathering. Eric got there just before Lisa? Yes. And then... Oh wait, no, this is from Andrew. Got there just before Lisa. Andrew got there last. Is it Jack? Because I suspect he's the brother of Christy. Why do I have Jack Carter with a question mark? I'm gonna put Jack. Did I put Jack Carter? I'll just put Jack. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's right, but it's a educated guess, I suppose. Post case material. Okay, so this is Brenda's medical report for case 401 that we did. Medical report for Brenda Peterson. And this is to Clifford Taylor. It says, I am writing to provide a medical update on Brenda Peterson, a patient who presented herself at our clinic earlier today. Miss Peterson's face exhibited severe bruising and significant damage, indicating a traumatic incident. Notably, this marks the second time she has sought medical attention for similar injuries within the past month. During her previous visit, it was reported that Miss Peterson had fallen down the stairs, but the nature and extent of her injuries on both occasions raised concerns about the consistency of these explanations. Upon examination, it became evident that Miss Peterson required immediate attention to manage the pain and discomfort resulting from her injuries. Consequently, we have prescribed a stronger dose of painkillers to provide more effective relief. Given the pattern observed in her medical history, it is imperative to consider alternative explanations for her injuries and to ensure that appropriate measures are taken to address any potential risk to her well-being. In light of these concerns, we strongly recommend a comprehensive assessment of Miss Peterson's situation, involving collaboration with relevant agencies such as social services and law enforcement. This approach aims to ensure her safety, address any potential underlying issues contributing to her injuries, and prevent further harm. Please feel free to contact our office if you have any additional questions or further discussion on Miss Peterson's case. If necessary, it says is necessary. Or if further discussion on Miss Peterson's case is necessary. Never mind, that makes sense. Okay. Post-case material for the dinner party. Carol's diary, entry 1. Today was an unexpected turn of events. I met Ronnie for the first time at a coffee shop where I work. His warm smile and the way his eyes lit up when he ordered his usual black coffee caught me off guard. We chatted briefly and I couldn't help but feel a spark. Were there multiple pages to the last one? Oops, did I miss that? Diary entry 2. Ronnie took me out for the first time tonight. We went to this cozy little bistro downtown. The conversation flowed effortlessly and I found myself getting lost in his stories. He has this magnetic charm that's hard to resist. I felt like the world disappeared and it was just the two of us. Entry 3. Ronnie and I went on another date, and I was pleasantly surprised by how well it went. We went to this cute little Italian restaurant that he had discovered, and the food was amazing. As we talked, I found myself more and more drawn to him. His personality and humor made me feel at ease, and we were able to have such genuine conversations about our interests and life experiences. It's been a long time since I felt such a strong connection with someone. I'm excited to see where this could lead, but I also know that it's important to take things slow and enjoy the moments we share. For now, I'm just looking forward to getting to know Ronnie even more. Entry 4. Ronnie is married. I stumbled upon his wedding ring accidentally and my heart sank. How did I not see this coming? The guilt is eating at me, but at the same time I can't ignore the feelings I have developed. What have I gotten myself into? Entry 5. Ronnie confided in me today about the problems in his marriage. He shared the struggles and the growing distance between him and his spouse. I find myself torn between sympathy and guilt. I've never intended to become entangled in someone else's marital issues. I'm left questioning the path I've chosen. Entry 6. Ronnie dropped a bombshell on me today. He's contemplating getting a divorce. My emotions are all over the place. Part of me is hopeful, but another part is filled with uncertainty. Can he really leave his marriage for me? Is this just wishful thinking? I need to tread carefully. Entry 7. I just found out I'm pregnant. Oof. Post-case material for apartment 403. Skyline News front page. City in shock. Promising teenager's life cut short in party shooting incident. What began as a bond forged in the hallways and classrooms has ended in heartbreak and sorrow. Authorities are still investigating the incident, but it has been reported that allegations against Mr. Olson may have been exaggerated. As the story continues to unfold, the question of misguided information and its implications is brought to the forefront. As we grapple with the harsh reality of this situation, it becomes paramount for us to reflect on the moral implications of sharing false information. In an age where information can be spread like wildfire, we must recognize the profound impact that our words can have on the lives of others. This heartbreaking incident serves as a somber reminder that the choices we make, the words we utter, and the information we share can carry profound consequences. It is our collective responsibility to exercise caution, empathy, and integrity in our interactions, understanding that the power of our words can either build bridges or lead to irreparable damage. In the face of this tragedy, let us take a moment to mourn the loss of a young man, and may this be a reminder to reflect on the importance of honesty, compassion, and the profound impact our actions can have on the lives of those around us. May we strive for a world where trust is upheld and where the weight of truth prevails over darkness that falsehood can cast upon us. Interesting. If you were granted the power to pardon one of the perpetrators, who would you choose? Very interesting question. All right. 401 was a woman who was being abused and she left. She was trying to protect her children. She had already shot him once, though, and he was down. It was kind of overkill. Apartment 402 was Carol. She became pregnant. She was tricked by this guy. She tried to poison 2 people, though, so that... Not her, I would say, because she tried to poison 2 people. 401 was trying to protect her children, and she had already been harmed by this guy in the past. But, man, shooting him twice is... I don't know. And then 403, a brother who believed his sister's allegations of being assaulted and argued with friend of a friend because he believed his sister, and he argued with this guy premeditatively, took the key before, so he kind of knew he was going to do this. I say 401 because while she did shoot him twice, and the second one was definitely like overkill, you know, he was down, she probably could have gotten away. She was trying to protect her children, and he had a past of harming her. The 4th floor, complete, grade A, case file report. Apartment 401. At approximately 11 p.m. on July 16, 2004, Clyde Peterson broke into an apartment. The apartment is currently being rented by his ex-wife, Brenda Peterson, now known as Brenda Sherman. The noise that Clyde made when he knocked over the planter woke up the sleeping baby. The baby's crying alerted Brenda, who was resting on the couch in the living room. The intruder tried to calm the baby before making his way into the next room. Brenda, hearing everything from the baby monitor, observed the intruder heading into her study room. She then quietly made her way to her safe inside her closet to retrieve her gun. Armed, she then confronted the intruder who was desperately searching for something inside her study room. Upon opening the door to the study, she recognized the intruder, her ex-husband Clyde. While aiming her gun toward Clyde, she moved closer to her landline at her desk and tried to dial 911. Before she could finish, Clyde pulled out his own gun. A startled Brenda then fired a bullet at Clyde. He accidentally fired one shot, which hit the side of the shelf before he fell. Still alive, he tried to crawl away. Brenda walked up to Clyde, shot him in the head, and killed him. So she did run into that second room after he was in the second room. That kind of confused me in that whole thing. And he accidentally fired a shot which hit the side of the shelf. I didn't even see the shot at the side of the shelf because I remember being confused about the second casing. And what I ended up thinking was that she got his gun away from him and shot him with his own gun. And that's where that second casing came from. But maybe not. Interesting. .402, the dinner party. On April 24th, 2002 at approximately 7 p.m., Jessica and her husband Ronnie hosted a small dinner gathering celebrating Jessica's birthday. Carol, Victor, and James were the guests. However, James didn't end up showing up. Yeah, why didn't James show up? Was that just... Unbeknownst to the rest, Ronnie had an affair with Carol. Through the affair, Carol ended up being pregnant with Ronnie's child. Ronnie started having second thoughts about the affair and intended to have the baby aborted. Carol, fearful of losing Ronnie, decided to take action against the other person in the equation, Jessica. During the gathering, Carol had brought a dose of lethal medication. She poisoned her cup when no one was looking. She switched her cup with Jessica's. Jessica drank the lethal medication and succumbed to the poison. Why was there also blood on Ronnie's napkin then? Did he sip Jessica's wine? Was it not blood? Was it something else? I feel like there are a lot of confusing things about this apartment one. This is apartment 403. On May 31st, 2003, at approximately 7 p.m., 6 friends, Andrew, Brian, Eric, Grace, Jack, and Lisa, had gathered in an apartment to celebrate their graduation from high school. Brian and Lisa, brother and sister, are the current tenants of the apartment. Brian is currently dating Grace, and Jack has an older sister named Christy who has feelings for Brian. Prior to the events of June 1st, Brian had a false yet damning allegation thrown towards him. In a fit of jealousy and to stir up drama, Christy alleged that Brian had sexually assaulted her on school grounds. This allegation caused Brian to be suspended from the school while the faculty and authorities investigated the matter. Unaware of the allegations being false, Jack plotted to take matters into his own hands. For the day of the celebration, Brian had arrived at the apartment first. Christy stopped by the apartment before anyone else arrived to talk to Brian privately. Christy eventually left, and soon after, everyone else arrived. Grace and Brian had an argument which prompted Brian to retreat to his room. Brian had opened a pack of cigarettes and smoked a few. Jack had left the apartment due to being sensitive to smoking. Jack had returned to find everybody wasted and knocked out. Jack took the opportunity to confront Brian, who was still in his room. After a brief conversation, Jack shot Brian. Stunned at what he had just done, Jack ran out of the apartment. Interesting.
Which case file
Well,
would you like
we're
to
at 2.5 hours of recording, so I don't think we're gonna try to tackle Bloodbath today. I think that will be for next time. So thank you very much for joining me all the way through the 4th floor of this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!